All right, guys, we're going to get started shortly. Give the show a like and a share anywhere you are watching. Rose Hill Market is closing after 33 years. Rose Hill Market, undoubtedly an iconic business. 33 years of service in Charlottesville. And Rose Hill Market is undoubtedly an iconic business within the Black-owned Charlottesville business community. I'm going to ask you this question. How many Black-owned businesses in the city of Charlottesville can you name? How many Black-owned businesses in the city of Charlottesville can you name? Why are there not more Black-owned businesses in the city of Charlottesville? Why do we struggle to name more than a handful of Black-owned businesses in Charlottesville if our tagline is world-class city? If you're a world-class city, yet you have very little diversity with entrepreneurship and business ownership, are you truly a world-class city? What should the tagline for Charlottesville be? Right now, the tagline for Charlottesville is a world-class city. Is that applicable and accurate? Judah Wickower will have that conversation with yours truly here in a matter of moments. Give the show a like and a share anywhere you guys are watching. We will also talk today about a few interesting facts that we have uncovered from Elon Musk and his life, now that he is literally trying to implode the Twitter deal he put together a couple of months ago, as he's clearly showing signs of buyer's remorse. All those topics and more on the Monday edition of the I Love CVille show. Give it a like, give it a share. We'll rock and roll here in a matter of moments. Judah, we can start when you're ready. Good Monday afternoon, guys. I'm Jerry Miller, and welcome to the I Love CVille show. Thank you kindly for joining us. We have a Charlottesville, Central Virginia, Commonwealth, country, and worldwide audience at our disposal on the I Love CVille network, and today we're presented by Skooma Boutique Dispensary. The best dispensary in Charlottesville is Skooma Boutique Dispensary, with a location on the downtown mall next to Rapture Restaurant and one on Elliewood Avenue, with more to come. A lot of topics on today's show we're going to cover for you. I got this question I want to ask. Our tagline for Charlottesville, Virginia is a world-class city. Is that accurate? Is Charlottesville a world-class city? I want to talk about that today. I want to ask you, what should the tagline for Charlottesville be? I'm going to utilize that discussion into a springboard about Black-owned businesses. Rose Hill Market is closing after 33 years because the owner of the market just wants to retire and wants to enjoy the back end of his life. And I respect that, George Swingler, fantastically and tremendously. I have this question for everyone watching this program. How many Black-owned businesses in the city of Charlottesville can you name? Can you name more than 5 Black-owned businesses in the city of Charlottesville? How can the city of Charlottesville be a world-class city if we don't have diversity and business ownership in Charlottesville? There's very few Black-owned businesses. Can we truly be world-class if the entrepreneurial climate, the business owner climate, is homogenous, it's wealthy, and lacking diversity? That topic on today's program. I also want to relay a couple of tidbits from Elon Musk to you. Did you know Elon Musk has 10 children? Did you know that? I didn't know that until this weekend. Elon Musk, no BS, has 10 children. 10 children. by a handful of different women. We're not talking about 10 children from a lifelong marriage associated with one person. Oh, no, 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 no. Elon Musk has been divorced 3 times, and he's got how many babies mamas? A handful of baby mamas. Elon Musk. It's interesting. Elon Musk is painted by the mainstream media as an individual who's capable of walking on water, taking a few loaves of bread and a couple fishes and feeding the hundreds, maybe the thousands. Elon Musk, what we don't know about him, because it doesn't fit the mainstream narrative, is a man with a lot of babies mamas, 10 children, a man that is difficult to work with. One of the babies mamas worked for him. He was a direct superior of her. Elon Musk grew up in a wealthy family. Elon Musk, while self-made in a lot of ways, has had a lot of advantages when compared to the average Joe or the average Betty. So that topic today on the I Love CVille show. Give it a like and a share anywhere you are watching, just like Bill McKenzie has done, just like Travis Hackworth has done. Bill McKenzie says it used to be a world-class city. Charlottesville, come on down and change it however you think it should be. Why don't we go to the 2-shot and let's welcome the jack of all wit, Judah Wickower, who is very much enjoying that moniker. First, good afternoon, my friend.
Good afternoon.
World-class city, yes or no? How would you describe it?
I don't think I'd describe it as a world-class city. I mean, it's a nice city, but I don't know about world-class. I mean, I feel like there are a lack of certain, I don't know what you'd call it, standards that you find in big cities. Okay,
so why don't we go there? To the moniker or the tagline for Charlottesville, Virginia, you see it on the buses, the Charlottesville-Almore Transit buses that are around town. On the buses, the tagline says world-class city. To be a world-class city, we should truly define what makes a city world-class.
Yeah, and I'm not sure exactly what that would be.
Is it public transportation? Is it affordability? Is it restaurants? Is it amenities? Is it nightlife? It's what?
Is it a Denny's?
Is there an Olive Garden? Is there a Crackle Barrel? Is there a Denny's?
Yeah.
Look, I'll cut to the chase. Charlottesville has struggled with its brand identity for how long? Since August 12th? August 12th, 2017? Or would you say it struggled with its brand identity since well before or well prior to August 12th, 2017? I'd say it certainly crescendoed on August 12th, 2017.
Yeah, I think it definitely struggled before that, but that was certainly an inflection point.
Yeah, that was one of the worst days in city history, as we all know, 8/12. So Charlottesville's been struggling with this identity. What is Charlottesville? Is Charlottesville just the home to UVA? Is Charlottesville the second largest epicenter or capital for weddings on the East Coast? Yes, it's the home to UVA. Yes, it's the second largest epicenter or home to weddings on the East Coast. The only jurisdiction that's producing more weddings yearly than us on the East Coast is what? Do you know?
More weddings than Charlottesville?
On the East Coast?
Somewhere in New York?
No, Charleston.
Charleston. Okay.
Charleston, more weddings than Charleston. Only one from a competition standpoint on the East Coast. So is Charlottesville a wedding factory? Is Charlottesville the home to UVA? Is Charlottesville the home to phenomenal breweries? Is Charlottesville the home to phenomenal vineyards? Is Charlottesville the home to the Blue Ridge Mountains? Is Charlottesville home to the Corin Capshaw-led, Dave Matthews Band-led music scene? Is Charlottesville the downtown mall? Is Charlottesville a tech hub? Is Charlottesville a tech hub?
No.
Is Charlottesville, I don't know. I may disagree with that. Is Charlottesville one of the largest aggregations of multimillionaires on the eastern seaboard? All these statements that I've made about Charlottesville are applicable. I'd say it's a tech hub. It's very quickly becoming a tech hub. Charlottesville and many in this community would welcome or embrace or fancy themselves the San Francisco of the East Coast.
I don't doubt they would, but name a company.
What do you mean? There's tech companies everywhere in Charlottesville.
Okay, then it shouldn't be a problem to name one.
I'm not going to be rattling off like Uber or Facebook or like Snap.
Well, that's my problem with that appellation is that I can't think of, I can think of tech companies like what, Silverchair? Would you call that tech?
That's about 110 people. I'd say Silverchair is a technology database company.
Okay.
Interestingly, my better half worked there for a brief period of time. Vivid Cortex, another one. I'm just doing a Google search. You guys would say Willow Tree is a tech company. Undoubtedly, that's had tremendous success. I would say Charlottesville undoubtedly is a tech town.
Okay.
So here you have these statements. Home to UVA. Second largest producer of weddings on the East Coast behind Charleston. Depending on who you ask, top 10 in the country, restaurants per capita, Charlottesville, Virginia.
At least at one point.
At least at one point, depending on who you ask.
Updating that number.
I've seen that stat go from 14 in the country to 8 in the country. But somewhere in that range. We got a lot of restaurants, we're lucky. It's an embarrassment of riches when it comes to restaurants. You got the wine, you got the beer, you got the outdoors, you got the ACC sports, you got the technology, you got the University of Virginia, you got the music. So all these factors have contributed to the convoluted nature of the tagline. Mm-hmm. So the folks creating the tagline, the CACVB, looked for a tagline that was all-inclusive, almost like an all-inclusive umbrella policy that you get from State Farm or Geico or whoever your provider may be. So this all-inclusive tagline, a world-class city, while it rattles off the tongue well, I don't think truly is an indication what Charlottesville is. So the question I have for you, a few I have, what's the more applicable tagline if it's not a world-class city? I'm open-minded to funny taglines if you want to go down that way. Straightforward taglines, I'm open to going down that way. And next, I'm going to use this topic as a springboard into this discussion. Rose Hill Market on Rose Hill Drive just closed after 33 years of doing business. A brand and a business that's a fixture not only in Charlottesville, but a leader in the black business world. 33 years of doing business, that speaks for itself. As one black-owned business is closed, you're left with this question. Why are there not more black-owned businesses in the city of Charlottesville? How many black-owned businesses can you name in the city of Charlottesville? Can you name more than 5? If so, rattle them off out loud right now or thinking about them in your head. Legitimately, can you name more than 5 black-owned businesses in the city of Charlottesville? How can we be a world-class city if the viewers and listeners watching this program can't count past 5 black-owned businesses in the city, right?
We've had way more than 5 on our show.
You and I are more in tune with the stuff because of the show.
I wouldn't have known a lot of these businesses
without the show.
If it weren't for the show.
Exactly. We have an advantage over the average citizen because we're doing a couple hours a day of localized content where you and I are having to research to prep or we're having the people on the show themselves. But if it weren't for the show, how many could one of my favorite qualities about you is your honesty. If it weren't for the show, how many could you have named? You would have probably named Mel's on West Main. I would have named Mel's.
I have.
The restaurants are the easy ones.
I'm not very aware of business owners anyways.
That's what I'm saying. So you're a perfect example. If it wasn't for the show, how many black-owned businesses could you name? You'd name Mel's. Would you not?
I didn't even know if I would think of it.
All right. So what would have been the first one you would have thought of?
The first one I would have thought of would be Allen's shortbread.
Okay, because those are the friends of yours that go to church.
Yeah.
Anwar Allen.
Yeah.
They're phenomenal people.
Yeah. Definitely.
Beautiful wife, Laura, right?
Yeah. Great kids too.
So great kids, great parents. The first one I would have named would have been Mel's Cafe on West Main. The second one I would have named would have been Angelique's Kitchen.
Yeah.
The third one I would have named would have been Royalty Eats. Can you tell I like food? The 3 black-owned businesses I named are all restaurants.
Yep. I also would have named.
I think I would have named Alan Scott at Shortbreads in the 4 slot because they've come on the show a handful of times, and I like Anwar and Laura.
Yeah.
So that's 4. No BS. You know this is true. The viewers and listeners know this is true. I follow the pulse of Charlottesville and know the people in Charlottesville as much as anyone. You would agree with that, right?
Sure.
Okay? Off the top of my head, if I was being honest and genuine, I could have given you 4 black-owned businesses that I know.
What about Sean?
What?
What about Sean?
Sean, okay. I
Soul
would have
Food
come up
Joint.
with Soul Food Joint because he's been on this program before. I would have given you 5. This is someone who follows Charlottesville, me, yours truly, more than anyone because you got to do a darn talk show each day.
Yeah.
And I could have given you 5 black-owned businesses. Viewers and listeners, how many can you name? Can we truly be a world-class city if you could only name 5 black-owned businesses?
It depends. I think it really depends on.
How world-class is characterized.
Well, it depends on how aware you are of the actual business owners.
Neil Williamson says world-class city moniker may have been something Gary O'Connell, former city manager, came up with years ago. Who came up with the world-class moniker? Was Gary O'Connell the city manager? Did he come up with the world-class moniker? I'm curious as well as Neil. Judah's curious as well. And then the second point is this. If the world-class moniker was created by a city manager named Gary O'Connell, how many city managers was Gary O'Connell ago? You've had Michael C. Rogers, the hired gun, the hired mercenary from the Robert Bob Group, the current interim city manager, just got a 6-month extension. You had who was the guy that came from Pennsylvania that quit before the job started? You had the dude who quit before the job started that went on to call Charlottesville Looney Tunes and Bloomberg. Before that, you had a little Mike Murphy action, a little Dr. Richardson action. I mean, you've had a lot of city managers. So if the moniker really was created by Gary O'Connell, former city manager, how could the moniker still be applicable today? Should we be changing or rebranding or recharacterizing the moniker? What are some the taglines that came to mind for you? This is our business. This is what we do.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at the funny ones here on.
On Reddit.
Yeah.
And what'd you come up with?
Let's see, regional class city.
A regional class city. Okay.
A landmark city.
Landmark Hotel. Play on that. I like it.
We don't all love mountains.
That one's weak.
It is funny, though. Virtue signaling capital.
There's a lot of virtual signaling here. Mark Woolley was the guy from Philadelphia who quit before the job started. So you've had since April 2010, Maurice Jones. Dude, Maurice Jones looks like an incredible city manager. Maurice Jones was on the job for damn near 8 years. 8 years on the job, Maurice Jones, from December 2010 to July 2018 as city manager. A former NBC 29 sports broadcaster, Mo Jones. On the job for 8 years as city manager. Mike Murphy, interim, Dr. Richardson, John Blair, Chip Boyles, Michael Rogers. And then you had, what's that dude, had a cup of coffee. Mark Woolley had a cup of coffee here. Gary O'Connell was on the job as city manager for 15 years from 95 to 2010. If the moniker was created by Gary O'Connell, whose term or tenure was 95 to 2010, I think it's probably time we have a new tagline.
Might be time to rethink.
Maybe the tagline for Charlottesville, Virginia is Charlottesville, Virginia, home to new beginnings. Charlottesville, Virginia, willing to improve from history, willing to learn from history. Charlottesville, Virginia, inclusive and diverse. I don't think that's applicable. I mean, Is it Charlottesville,
I
Virginia?
don't know about the New Beginnings one either.
Okay, fine. Is a more applicable one, and I say this terribly, and I say this and it demoralizes me, is the most applicable one, Charlottesville, Virginia. If you're not wealthy, you're going to struggle. Charlottesville, Virginia.
Might be a lot closer to the truth.
Got money? If not, leave. Charlottesville, Virginia. The place where history goes to die.
Ooh. It's fair.
I mean, Charlottesville, Virginia. A lot of white and wealthy.
Yeah. I think that's an overstatement.
You don't think there's a lot of white and wealthy in Charlottesville?
There are a lot of white and wealthy in a lot of places, but
Certainly here.
yeah, but I don't.
This is
know
a question
that
I was having over the weekend. Viewers and listeners, I'm going to ask you this question right here. When is the last time you've seen a person of color in an enjoyment role in Charlottesville? I'm not talking about a person of color that's you see in Charlottesville working,
What does that mean in an
enjoying Charlottesville. Like going to the downtown mall, going to a restaurant, music, enjoying it like a tourist would, or like we would. When is the last time you have interacted or seen a person of color in a role in Charlottesville where it's enjoying the riches of Charlottesville as opposed to working in a setting where you are patronizing the setting? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I was out with my friend Bernard last Thursday.
Okay.
We were on the downtown mall. We had some Vita Nova.
And you saw diversity?
Well, he's black,
Okay.
so that right in itself.
Because I don't see a lot of diversity downtown.
I do.
I don't see a lot of diversity downtown.
Okay.
Drive 45 minutes, 50 minutes to Richmond, Virginia. You see diversity. You see eclectic city. You see well-roundedness. You see a rainbow of races. There's no rainbow of races here.
I don't know if I agree with that.
Let's do this. Charlottesville, Virginia, Wikipedia. I'm just going to go to Wikipedia for Charlottesville. It's the top link. I just put that into Google. I'm going to look at the 2020 census. As of the census of 2010, that's the 2010. Is there a 2020 census? Come on, give me a 2020 census. Here's the 2020 census. Is the 2020 census in there? Can you find the 2020 census?
Look.
I got the 2010 census. I'll rattle off the 2010 census. All right, here's the 2020 census data. I have it. Tell me when you're ready. Are you ready to rock and roll on this?
Sure.
Okay. 2020 census. What is the percentage of black or African Americans in the city of Charlottesville according to 2020 census data? Are you looking at it or have you seen it yet? Because I have it in front of me. I'd love to quiz you. Are you looking at it?
No.
Okay, let's go eyeball to eyeball here, if we could, please, sir. According to the 2020 census data, what percentage of the population is black or African American?
I don't know. 11%?
It's a good guess. It's 15%. What percentage is Latino or Hispanic?
Gee, I don't know to go higher or lower. I'll go 9%.
6.89%. 21, call it 22%. 22%, 22, according to the 2020 census data, 22% of the community is African American, Hispanic, or Latino.
Okay.
Less than 1 in 4. That number's not getting bigger.
No, definitely not.
That number's getting smaller. Smaller. In 2010, black or African American population in 2010 made up 20% of the population.
So it's down 5.
In 2020, it's 15.1. It's down 5%. The number is shrinking. Richmond, Virginia, Neil Williamson has a 29% black population.
Wow.
29% when compared to the 15% in Charlottesville. You're talking half,
Yeah.
basically half the population. Can you be world class if the profile of your citizenship is becoming more homogeneous and wealthy? Can you be world class if the profile of your citizenship is richer than it's ever been before? Housing is more expensive than before? Keith Smith said before this show started, after Real Talk with Keith Smith, that a 3-bedroom, 2-bath average, Charlottesville, Albemarle County, for rent, $2,600. 3-bedroom, 2-bath. That's what it costs average to rent in the city of Charlottesville, Albemarle County.
Mm.
It seems like contradictions to me. Don't get me wrong, I love living here.
Mm.
So I've called it home.
Yeah. No,
But-
I think you're right. It's hard to call it a world class city when it is becoming more homogenous. It's getting harder to live here.
And it's going to get worse. It's not going to get better. Here's some other black-owned businesses. Neil, we found that, thank you for sharing that link, SeavilleBlackBiz.com. That's one we were researching or referencing prior to the show as well. SeavilleBlackBiz.com is the link. Do you want to rattle off a few that you didn't know of?
Yeah, sure.
I mean, the food and beverage one is the most noticeable one. I'm happy to rattle off the food and beverage ones. Angelique's, A Taste of Home Southern Cuisine, Allen's Scottish Shortbread, Auntie Anne's UVA. I didn't realize that was a black-owned franchise. JBD Catering, Cajun King Catering, LG's Elixir, Mel's Cafe, I rattled off, Miss Tiff's Catering LLC. A lot of the restaurants are catering restaurants. Troy Robertson's Order Up Mobile Food Cart. Pearl Island is absolutely delicious. Royalty Eats, Shark Mountain Coffee, Sliced Cake Bar, Soul Food Catering, the vegan experience. You know, any you want to highlight?
We had another. I'm trying to remember her name. We had another,
Philip Dow, what's the bumper sticker for Scottsville? It's like Scottsville, Paris, London, and something else. I see you are highlighting Scottsville. What's the bumper sticker for Scottsville that's been famous? What are the words on that bumper sticker? Put it in the comment section if you could, Philip. Judah, jump in here.
we got. I mean, there's all kinds of them. We got health and beauty. We got entertainment.
Rattle off a few that they should know, that you think they should know.
that they should know.
Iconic ones.
Let's
Before this show started, I could name 5 black-owned businesses in the city of Charlottesville, and I am, from a connection standpoint or following trends in this town, I am at the forefront of both. And I could only name 5.
We got lots of beauty places, hair cutteries. We got Dreadhead, Elite Cuts, His Image Barbershop. Extension. We got Beauty by Burris.
There are not many. This is what happens when you destroy Vinegar Hill. When you take homes away, businesses away, churches away, and land away from the black population. This is the result.
C.E. Brown and Associates.
Carl Brown, we built that website. That's our boy, Carl Brown. Ran for city council, Carl Brown. We built his brand for him.
Conscious Capitalist Group.
Robert Gray, Monticello High School graduate. Robert Gray, Conscious Capitalist Group. Very well-connected guy. Saw him on Friday.
What about Love No Ego?
Love No Ego Foundation. Freddie Jackson. He's come on this program. Think about this. The names that you just rattled off. Freddie Jackson, Love No Ego Foundation. He's come on this show 3 times. Robert Gray, Conscious Capitalist Group. He's come on this show once. Carl Brown and Associates, come on the show 5 or 6 times.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we have a crowdsourcing campaign to come up with a more applicable moniker. And if you want to go tongue-in-cheek and say, Charlottesville, Virginia, home to Bodo's Bagels. Charlottesville, Virginia, it's Rio Road, not Rio Road, damn it. If you want to say monikers that are funny, tongue-in-cheek like that, contribute it to the crowdsource campaign. But world-class city, Charlottesville, you're looking at potentially a decade-old plus moniker. Neil thinks it was a moniker or a tagline originated by Gary O'Connell. Isn't it time for us to get an updated moniker? Mike Signer called Charlottesville, Virginia, the capital of the resistance. That imploded in Michael Signer's face.
Yeah.
The capital of the resistance.
If it wasn't laughable.
Laughable how? Just because how ridiculous it is?
Yeah,
the statement?
What resistance?
Yeah, Mike Signer. Lee Vogler says Danville, the comeback city. That's a great one.
Yeah.
That's the kind of moniker Charlottesville needs. Danville, Virginia, the comeback city.
Mm-hmm. Something a little more evocative than...
Charlottesville, Virginia. Like weddings, breweries, wineries, and more. Charlottesville, Virginia, something for everyone. Charlottesville, Virginia, not your grandfather's town anymore.
Yeah, I don't know if that one is that great.
Maybe it doesn't.
I like weddings, wineries, and more.
Weddings, wineries, and more. Travis Hackworth is watching in Danville. He said Danville did something similar years ago. Danville, a world-class organization that got dumped. You open yourself up for a bunch of criticism when you say world-class. Bingo.
Yeah.
Exactly, Travis. Bingo. Travis, especially when your government and your jurisdiction hasn't been running smoothly lately. Bingo. Travis, King of Danville, you make the program better yet again. Bill McKenzie, Charlottesville, come on down and change it however you think it should be. Grayson, Charlottesville, Virginia, home to the Yankee carpetbaggers. Grayson, that's not very nice.
Am I being called out?
That's not very nice, Grayson. Yankee carpetbaggers. Charlottesville, Virginia. How about this one from Jennifer, who watched the first week's show? Charlottesville, Virginia. We stayed with mommy and daddy's money, and now we're still doing it.
The truth hurts, doesn't it?
Charlottesville, Virginia. Home to Wilson Ritchie's restaurants. Oh, this one's not very nice. Charlottesville, Virginia. Home to Bad Pizza. There's plenty of good pizza here. That's not very nice. I don't have a problem with the pizza. Do you? Which food do you have the most problem with in town?
I have the most problem with? Do you mean problem with finding or problem with because it's... I think...
You were talking about Chinese the other day.
Oh, there's lots of Chinese places. I mean, you got Taste of China, you got Peter Chang's, you've got...
I like Red Lantern.
Yeah, Red Lantern is really good.
By Beer Run.
Yeah.
And Belmont Pizza.
They have one of my favorite dishes.
What's it missing? I've said so many times hot fried chicken. Where's the hot fried chicken in Charlottesville? Who has the hot fried chicken in Charlottesville consistently like a Hattie B's from Nashville, Tennessee? Where's the hot fried chicken?
Oh, you're talking about spicy.
Spicy hot fried chicken.
Okay.
Where is that?
I was thinking you can get hot fried chicken.
Hot fried chicken. It's got some kick,
Spicy
like Hattie
fried
B's.
chicken. I have no
Bill
idea.
McKenzie likes Chopsticks Express on Route 29. Chopsticks Express has fantastic cheese dumplings or wontons.
Wow. I don't think I've ever been there.
It's a great suggestion. What is it missing? I say hot fried chicken. What else is it missing?
Hot fried chicken. I mean, we've been talking about the fact that it lacks a nightlife and anywhere to go besides
Late night food.
besides Waffle House.
Waffle House, Fifth Street's closed. Labor. We're not going down that road again.
Now there's just the
29 Waffle House.
29 Waffle House.
I do encourage the viewers and listeners. Now, granted, this is not when the bars and restaurants have closed. This is in the midnight range. If you have yet to have the C&O cheeseburger in the basement bar late at night with a cold beer, you're missing something special.
Oh, what?
The C&O burger is damn good. Have the burger late night if you're up late at night.
How late is C&O open?
I think you can get it till midnight.
Wow.
Only in the basement. Only in the lower level bar.
I'm surprised anything in Charlottesville is open till midnight.
C&O tries to do a good job of catering to F&B that gets off
Yeah.
and tries to offer them a place to hang. So before we go on to the last topic of the show, a couple of interesting facts on Elon Musk. You have some ready to go?
Yeah.
Me too. I want you to ask yourselves these two questions throughout the rest of the day. A couple of questions. Charlottesville's tagline is a world-class city. Is that tagline still applicable for Charlottesville? The second question I want you to ask yourself is, how many black-owned businesses in the city of Charlottesville can you name? And then the last question is this. Could Charlottesville truly be a world-class city if you can only name 4 to 5 black-owned businesses in the city that's supposedly world-class? Those are fair questions, and they're questions that should be asked. Philip Dow says Brown's had the best fried chicken. Brown's was a black-owned business. Mr. and Mrs. Brown, phenomenal people. Mr. and Mrs. Brown have since sold the business and the building and made a tidy sum in the process. Good for you, Brown family. Now, I want to rattle off some Elon Musk facts. I wanted to take this from a different approach about, Elon Musk is trying to back out of the many billions deal that he's got in the works for Twitter. You're getting that news from everyone. Musk clearly has some buyer's remorse.
Well, isn't it kind of hilarious? I mean, I seem to remember Twitter really not wanting to sell to him at the beginning of all this.
Twitter did not want to sell to them. And then Musk forced their arm.
And now they're
saying... And now Musk, after forcing their arm, is showing buyer's remorse and is trying to wiggle his way out of the deal.
And now they're saying, no.
Now they're saying, no, you can't. We have a contract. We'll take you to court to enforce it. Musk is utilizing or leveraging the spam bots and the daily active users and the data that Twitter's board initially presented to Musk when making the offer and doing the deal. They initially started with active users and profiles, and Musk vetted those KPIs and said, hey, this daily active user count that you gave me is not accurate, and there's way more spam accounts on this platform than you initially said. And as a result, I don't think the price that we initially agreed upon is fair anymore. I think it should be lower. Is this a negotiation tactic? Maybe.
Probably. He's also been...
Does he have buyer's remorse? Perhaps. Is he trying to wiggle his way out of the deal? Maybe.
I think he hasn't gotten all the information that he's asked for, and that's part of it as well. And Twitter I think, has a good point in that there's some information that they can't give him until he's actually an owner. But yeah. And with his refusal to buy, it just went down,
Yeah, it's in the crapper.
$1.8 billion off of its market cap
Yeah,
today.
it's in the crapper right now. It's absolutely in the crapper. I mean, you're talking about a platform that's not one of the top 3 or 4 platforms on social. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. I mean, they're your market leaders. YouTube's a social platform. They're your market leaders.
I don't know if I'd call YouTube a social platform.
I'd call YouTube a social platform. What would you call it? A video search engine?
Yeah, a video sharing company. I mean, you've got...
You're sharing content socially.
You've got, I suppose you've got some
You can
amount of
comment,
social,
you can follow, you can subscribe.
It's commentary, but...
you can share. You can create a profile. Anyway, we'll agree to disagree on that. Here's some interesting facts about Elon Musk. I did not know this until doing some reading this weekend. He has 10 children.
Yeah.
Elon Musk has 10 children. Did you know that?
He just had twins like at the end of last year.
I did not know that.
Right before Grimes, his longtime girlfriend, if I
The
understand
Canadian
things,
musician Grimes.
had her second child by him, I think.
Musk, I'll get to the ballsy stuff here. Musk dated Amber Heard of Johnny Depp Amber Heard. In fact, Johnny Depp claims that Musk and Heard got a little freaky while Heard was still married to Depp. Musk has 10 children. In May 2022, a Business Insider article alleged that Musk engaged in sexual misconduct with a SpaceX flight attendant in a private jet in 2016.
He definitely gets around.
Musk gets around. He has 10 children by a handful of women.
Yeah.
What facts?
I think he believes that the world is we're underpopulating at this point.
That was a joke by him.
Well,
He said he was contributing to the world's population.
He's-
What else struck
he
you about
certainly
Elon
is.
Musk? What other facts?
He helped found what eventually became PayPal.
Yeah.
I don't think I had known that.
What else?
He's reduced the cost of reaching the International Space Station by 90%, bringing it down from over $1 billion per mission to just $60 million. That's pretty amazing.
What else? He had twins with a direct employee, Shivon Zillis.
Yeah.
The week they were born, he had twins by one woman, and the twins by one woman who worked at his company were born weeks before Musk and the Canadian musician Grimes had their second child via surrogate.
Yeah.
So he's birthing, he's contributing, he is creating a baby through a surrogate with a Canadian musician named Grimes. And weeks before his child was born through a surrogate, he's having twins with another woman who worked directly for him.
Yeah. Class act.
We're not talking about like the kind of guy you want to come home and date your daughter. The guy that should be knocking on your door on a Friday night to take your oldest born daughter out to dinner and a movie, you hope it's not Elon Musk showing up to the door. You hope it's not Elon. Because he might woo her with some self-driving vehicles and some spaceships that can go to the moon and some internet for all over the world. But the reality is, what's the reality? Give me a safe way of putting this about him.
If it moves, he'll stick his...
Okay, we can stop right there. Thank you.
Yeah.
I should have gone with my take instead of your take. Jesus. We'll leave it
I
at
wasn't going
that.
to say it.
Jason Howard, the king of Rio, Charlottesville, where the rent is too damn high. That was his tagline.
There you go.
That one works. Charlottesville, where affordability is a fallacy, a pipe dream. I wouldn't say it's getting more affordable around here. Would you?
Certainly not.
No, certainly not. 10 children for old Elon. Anything else you miss you want to get into the mix? I'd encourage everyone to check out CvilleBlackBiz.com, CvilleBlackBiz.com for the list of black businesses in this community. Great reference. Anything you want to add? No?
He signed, Musk has signed the Giving Pledge. That's pretty cool.
What's that?
He signed the Giving Pledge.
Who did?
Elon Musk.
Oh.
It's a pledge that promises to donate the majority of their wealth to philanthropic efforts.
He's painted by the global, national, and mainstream media as essentially being someone capable of walking on water. And for every entrepreneur, like one of the qualities I've known about successful entrepreneurs, and for to a certain extent, I have this quality, and my wife would say it's not a great quality in most circumstances. But an entrepreneur has to think of him or herself almost as indestructible, almost as having superhero qualities. And you gotta have this mindset because so many of the businesses fail. That if you don't have this like superhero, indestructible, above the rules, almost like I can do stuff that other people can't type of mentality, then you're going into this battle of being an entrepreneur with a lot of things going against you. That sense of invincibility is paramount for success because it helps you weather down, and there's a lot of down in this business. There's a lot of roller coastering entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Okay? So I respect that Elon, and I respect that a lot of successful entrepreneurs, just like a Michael Jordan on the basketball court, when he got on the court, he said, I'm the best in the world and no one can beat me. And he had this air and aura of superiority, invincibility, and that I'm better than you.
Yeah.
Okay? He needed that. Musk needed that. You see that with a lot of successful business owners. The problem with that aura of invincibility, where you think you're better than people in business, you often can't turn that off.
And you start to believe your own press.
You believe your own press. You get intoxicated with your own bullshit.
And then you start having twins and triplets with every...
Then you have 10 kids by a handful of different women. And you chalk it up to helping the world's population improve. If you're talking about 10 kids by a handful of different women, normally when someone does that, they're painted in a very negative light. What if Elon Musk was a person of color? Would the mainstream media be highlighting this in the same way? Often when one man fathers a bunch of children by a bunch of different women, that person gets ripped.
Sometimes, but I think rich people in general...
Ralph Sampson got ripped for that. Greatest basketball player in UVA history. Got ripped for that. Now, in Ralph's predicament, he got behind on child support and he needed people to bail him out. And that's why that made even larger news. Sampson's got a bunch of kids by a handful of women, and he got ripped for that. No one brings it up with Musk. No one.
I think rich people in general get a
pass.
Yeah.
Rich white ones in particular.
Yeah, but
rich white male ones in particular.
Look at the rich people.
Have you seen Bill Gates' track record with women?
No.
Jeff Bezos? Google Bill Gates and his track record with women working at Microsoft. You don't have to do it now. It's not pretty. Anyone watching this program, you want to do a little research? Research Bill Gates and his track record with female employees at Microsoft. Look at that. Oh. Jason Howard says Elon wants to colonize Mars personally. And I think he's going to do it. I think Elon will do that.
Mars will be rough. I mean, it's...
No. Bill McChensey says Elon is going to have as many descendants as Genghis Khan.
Well, we'd probably have to look far, far into the future and see how well his children do at...
One of his children, transgender.
Okay.
Transgender, boy to woman, boy to girl, was so disenchanted, disgusted, demoralized with Musk, transgender, and changed her name. Changed her name to get away from Musk. Forget the transgender thing. Kid changed her name.
That's kind of typical of kids.
That's not typical.
It is not typical of kids to hate their parents, and when you've got the money that they have, it's hardly a surprise that she
changed her name.
Yeah.
That's a show. Monday edition I thought was pretty good. Thought you did a good job. I Love CVille show. We take topics that are global and national, and we localize them, personalize them, and humanize them to Charlottesville. And we do it in long form for your entertainment, education, and enlightenment. We're grateful for your viewership and your listenership. We work hard for you. Tell somebody about the gospel, about the I Love CVille show. Thank you kindly for joining us on a gorgeous Monday afternoon to be above the mud. For Judah Wickhauer, my name is Jerry Miller. So long, everybody.